The question I get a lot is, what is emotional intelligence and how do I know if it's for me or if I can benefit from it? And on top of that, how do I identify if someone I know or a good friend or family would be able to benefit from it? The short answer is everybody can, but in different ways, because emotional intelligence is such a broad and abstract kind of topic. The fact is, it still has so many different nuances to it that it depends on where you're at and what you are looking for and where you want to go in your life. And so I collected 11 ways, which is just 11 that I have found. It's not a definitive list or anything, but 11 ways for you to identify a certain area under emotional intelligence that could benefit you. This is an 11-part video series to identify where you might fit, as well as what you can do about each of those areas. In this video, we'll talk about the signs of people pleasing, we'll talk about how to regulate it with emotional intelligence, and what you can do to continue practicing it and to pull yourself out of the cons of being a people pleaser. So you're watching this because you want to stop people pleasing, and I feel you. I am one of those people, and as I am uncovering that for myself and working through it, I've realized how difficult it is to be, this empathetic person and to be a very socially aware person of everyone around me. How difficult that is to balance your own emotions as well, to not let other people affect you, whether it be their judgments or criticism or emotions. And why it's such a big deal is because with enough people pleasing, you lose a lot of yourself. You lose a lot of credibility and respect for your own authority and for your own assertiveness for what you care and want out of your life. And when we're out serving others so much, it's a very rare and noble trait to have, but this superpower can also be taken advantage of by other people, right? When you're out trying to serve and please others so much that they will take advantage of it and want more of that without giving much in return. And so your boundaries are being overstepped, you're not being taken seriously enough in your business, in your career, and even in your romantic life, when you're not assertive in who you are. I'll talk a bit about how I've identified this within myself. Growing up, I never really got the sort of validation and confidence from others. And I know if you're within this space and personal development and trying to work on yourself, that you'll know not to base your own self-worth on other people's validation, on external validation, right? And you have to source it from yourself, from internally. But if you don't even have any sources of validation at all, or sources of affirmation, it can be hard to just drum that up, out of midair from within yourself, right? And that's where I found myself, not having received as much validation from anyone. I had to seek it out myself. And how I sought after that was to go out of my way to please others in order to feel valuable, in order to feel like I'm worthy. But of course, in doing that, I lost so much of myself. I think on another layer to this is wanting harmony within my environments, right? Where I've seen so much conflict within my life and the people around me that I wanted to do everything I can to create peace, but not having enough tools and skills to do that in a balanced way. I did what I knew, which was just to compromise and sacrifice a lot of myself in order to avoid that conflict. I know you can already sense a lot of the struggle and what is left on the table by doing that, right? You lose a lot of yourself and your own assertiveness in who you are or what you think or what you care about. And obviously that's not sustainable. When you're giving so much to others and not getting anything in return, or when you don't have your own sources to fill up your own cup, you're eventually going to be depleted of your time and energy and mental capacity to help others. And that's where we get burnt out. That's where we don't feel like it's worth it to keep giving, and so we'll turn the other way and be hypercritical or be bitter, and that's where we turn to anger. This is where I found a love and passion to learn about emotional intelligence, about my own emotional intelligence, because it's helped me realize, first of all, that I do have feelings and emotions that are being suppressed, that are being left out or left unsaid. When these emotions are not properly identified and let out, it complicates the mind. It complicates our own thoughts. It makes us overthink and overanalyze so many different things because we're not sure even how we're feeling. And that is one of the first steps in being able to manage your people-pleasing with emotional intelligence, is by identifying what the heck you're even feeling, and being aware of that. And of course, it's difficult to practice, especially in these highly stressful environments, right? But that doesn't excuse you to not practice it in the first place, right? And so knowing though that that's a continual practice, that you're just gonna have to keep training yourself and exercising this ability to identify your emotions, is already a big step in helping you manage your people pleasing. And so your mission here is to reflect back on a prior instance where you were trying to satisfy someone else's needs without addressing your own, and reflect on what you were feeling internally in that moment. What was the emotion that wasn't being said? And then ask yourself questions that start with what rather than why. Because when we're asking ourselves why we were feeling this way or why this was happening, it can become defensive. We start coming up with reasons to explain or to justify the situation or how we're feeling, rather than seeing what was the circumstances or what was the context or the situation around what was happening. So I hope this helps. I really appreciate you for watching this and for wanting to work on yourself. And I hope you got something actionable for yourself from this video. And if you want to dive deeper and have more personal support in guidance in accelerating this growth for yourself, and not feel like you have to do it alone, definitely reach out to me. I've become very passionate about emotional intelligence, and as I develop it within myself, I also want to help others develop it with them. And so I see this as an exploration in both of our journeys to do it together. And as I consume and study and research and practice this content and this topic, I would love to share that with someone along the way. And so definitely reach out to me if you're interested in being able to work on this aspect of emotional intelligence. I will have a bunch of other videos to help you identify if there's maybe some other area within EQ that you might benefit better from as well. But I am using these videos as a way to identify what resonates most with people and to develop a program that will help people in these different areas. So Again, if you're interested, definitely comment below or find me on Instagram at _Victor Ung. Or if you're interested in the group coaching program that I am creating, visit Victor Ung, that's victorung.com/group coaching. Make sure you're subscribed and following this channel for all the other videos that will drop around emotional intelligence and how to identify if you can benefit from it. Thank you again for watching, and I can't wait to hear from you.